body is bionic. It's not fixed in time. You can create anything as long as it's grounded in physical law, of course. But that bionic part of your body can be manipulated, is malleable, is no longer an invariant entity. And because of that, in the future, when there's more and more bionic intervention, identity itself will be malleable and plastic. So here you see a photograph of me taken shortly after my biological limbs are amputated. So what do you see? Am I broken? You can see the sheet coming down where my legs have been amputated. So do you see a person that's broken or a person that's whole? Do you see an end or do you see an exciting beginning? But only a few weeks after my legs were amputated, I asked my doctor, my rehab doctor, what I would be able to do with my new body. I said, I want to be able to ride my bicycle, I want to be able to drive my car, and I most certainly want to return to my chosen sport of mountain climbing. And he quickly responded that I would need hand controls when driving my car. I would certainly not be able to return to mountain climbing, and I would not even be able to drive my bicycle. I'm very happy to report that the doctor was wrong. So while I was still in the rehab center, 1 week after receiving my first pair of artificial limbs, I went climbing. I could barely walk, but when I got on the vertical wall, I just felt at home. A month later, I rode my bicycle for the first time. And when I took my driver's exam, the police officer wasn't even aware that I had artificial limbs. Perhaps I should have told him. My doctor was wrong because he viewed me as broken, and he made the profound mistake of viewing technology as non-changing. And to this audience, that's completely absurd. Technology is changing at such a rapid clip. I did not view my biological body as broken. I viewed the artificial limbs as utterly pathetic and stupid. And that, by changing bad design, one could conquer disability across a broad range of disabilities. That was my thought about a month after my limbs were amputated. So I quickly realized that the artificial part of my body can be malleable, can take on any form. If I could imagine it, and if it was consistent with physical law, I could perhaps build it and have extraordinary capability. If my legs were technologically sophisticated enough, perhaps I could run faster than a person with normal biological limbs. Maybe my legs would have wings and I can fly. My first project was, I was passionate about climbing, so I wanted to return to mountain climbing. So I went in the machine shop and I started hacking these limbs. And this limb allows me to stand on small rock edges a fraction of the width of a coin. This one is a bladed device that wedges into a fissure, and I rotate my leg, extend, and I make progress on the mountain. Naturally, I made the blade very, very thin, so I could climb rock fissures where the human foot cannot penetrate, affording me a distinct advantage over a person with biological limbs. Here, for ice climbing, I said, gosh, I don't need the mountain boot. I can just weld the pylon directly into the crampon. Standing on my front points is equivalent to standing on the sidewalk. I can do it all day without any calf fatigue, and my poor competitors with normal biological limbs fall off the mountain when their calves burn. And what's really cool is both legs are amputated, so I can make my height adjustable. I can be as tall as I want, and about 5 feet or so. So here I'm a towering 2.5 meters tall, able to reach hand and footholds that no fellow climber could possibly reach. Inspector Gadget here. So after only 1 year from my legs being amputated, I climbed at a more advanced level with artificial limbs than I'd ever achieved with normal biological limbs prior to the limb amputation. So at the beginning of that year, society said that I was crippled without legs. A year after the amputation surgery, I surpassed my pre-amputation climbing abilities, climbing walls that no human had ever ascended, whether with biologic or bionic legs. I've become augmented in 12 short months, and indeed a threat to my fellow climber. A few competitors in the climbing world actually threatened to cut their own legs off to achieve the same advantage. So what do you see? Am I broken or am I whole? Do you see a crippled or do you see the future of athletics? Do you see weakness or the potential for a transcendent, augmented human? What is my identity? I think you know what I see. So because today's inadequate technology, each human condition results in disability and a poor quality of life than the individual seeks. However, disability can be overcome through innovation, obvious. So I happen to have the minor condition that my legs are amputated. But because of good technology, you cannot with a straight face label me as disabled. I climb mountains, I trail run, I do what the hell I want to do. If you remove the technology from me, I am imprisoned by the shackles of disability. It's terrible. All I can do is crawl. With the technology, I'm freed. So in this century, I predict that through ever-increasing technological sophistication in the human-machine interaction, through biologic and synthetic design, we will largely eliminate disability in the world. And that science and technology that enables the elimination of disability will be the same platform, the same knowledge that will lead to the ability to augment normal physiological function, to go beyond innate capabilities. Future technologies indeed will augment the power of the mind, enhance sensory experience, promote learning, and give us superhuman strength. Indeed, bionics offers tremendous potential for humanity, but not without risk. As a society, we must develop public policy at a rate commensurate with this ever-expanding augmentation technology. Yes, to further incentivize innovation in the space, but also to mitigate unintended nefarious consequences of augmentation technology. It is not difficult to imagine horrid futures of parents designing their offspring, of governments controlling the mood of their citizens, and many other brave new world scenarios. So I believe passionately that we the people have in our authority the capacity to end disability in this century, while adhering with absolute obedience to the general principles of human diversity and individual freedoms. Thank you.